Got to get back to the chess. And got to get to the steakhouse, honestly. Steakhouse is about to close. Okay, perfect. Playing someone from someone who's supposed to be from Brazil, but they have a Russian name. I have a lot of questions. C5, knight f6. This is Ganguly's approach. So I think in my course, I actually recommend something slightly different, but the idea of a4 is I'm just waiting out his move. I want him to play knight c6 so we can play bishop e5. And plays queen c7, we'll castle here. This is supposed to be one of the best systems. He plays a6, we could just take. Yeah, we'll just take here. He takes with the queen. Now, yeah, let's play a5 here. This is really serious. Now he can't play b5 and expand on the queen side. And long term here, the really beautiful thing now about this position is that either this knight is going to get the c4 square or this knight is going to get the e5 square, right? His pawn can only cover one of these. Before, without, if not for this pawn push, he would have been able to play b5, and my knights, he might have been able to cover one with this pawn and the other with this pawn, but now both of them are tasked to this pawn. Play knight a3, get the knight to c4. This looks completely fine. Bro's definitely in the Dragon's Den, and by definitely in the Dragon's Den, I mean it's equal. Maybe I'm very slightly better. Practically speaking, though, this is very comfortable for white. You should just get used to playing these positions. Like I've said it once, I'll say it again. Perk objectively is equal. You're not going to get an advantage out of the opening if they play it perfectly, but you're going to get a position that you've probably played 100 times as many as your opponent, and that in itself is a huge experiential advantage. All right, let's put the knight on c4. It's time to go. If he plays d5, I drill the knight into b6. Bro's in trouble here. Rook b8, weird. All right, let's play, it's time for d3. Start advancing. He plays knight d5, I can just trade. This is the bishop that I don't have. This is the bishop that I trade off, so that's the color that I want to align most of my pawns on. d5, we'll play knight e5. Yeah, dude is in some trouble here. Knight d7, we play e4. This is already very tricky for him. No easy answers here. He probably should try bishop g4 and takes. Okay, there. Well, we'll take here. All right, if we play e4, he plays bishop g4. He sort of gets his bishop out. Let's play h3. If d5, we can play knight e5. Yeah, this is weird. I mean, we could also play e4, bishop g4. That would also be fine. Knight e3 to come to d5 could be interesting there. Lots of interesting ideas, honestly. Queen e1 also looks good. I like queen e1 the most, honestly. Queen e1 might come to h4, might also go to c3, covering a5 as well. I'm not really sure when that would be significant, but it might be. f6? That's a suspicious move, man. That definitely gets my Vlad master senses tingling. Okay, well here, knight h4, bishop e6, f5. We could play e4. Yeah, let's play e4 here. If bishop e6, I'll play knight e3. Strange stuff. Very, very strange stuff at the moment. Bishop e6, f5 is even an idea, but then he takes. If he ever takes in those positions, I play knight h4, and I think I have fantastic compensation. All right, bishop g4. Bishop g4 is interesting. We could play knight d2. Man plays e5, f5 takes, and then knight e3. That looks really strong. Yeah, let's do that. I don't want to allow this bishop to trade itself. Notice the bishop can only really point at concrete here, so it's sort of useless in a weird way. Yeah, if he doesn't do anything next move, I'm going to play f5 just to lock his bishop in, and then after takes, knight e3 to apply really nice pressure to it. Then if his bishop ever retreats, we have knight takes f5. This is a very, very strange position, though. You got to get used to playing these very weird positions with a very healthy structure, and just you got to bask in the bedlam. What is the word I'm looking for? You got to bask in the confusion. You got to bask in the I don't even know what the term is, but you just need to be very patient, very careful, and you will win a lot of games. If you play these positions better than your opponents, you can win every single game that you play, pretty much. So it's very hard. Okay, there, perfect. We play f5 now. This was the idea. Bishop's in trouble here. There. All right, we could play knight e3, knight d5. His bishop is trying to get around here. This is so strange. Okay, we play knight e3. He plays bishop h5, h4, h6. I don't really have anything there. G5. This is a fantastic move, honestly. Bro is playing extremely well. I'm definitely doing the game review, if you know what I mean. We're definitely hitting him with the old game review. I think I should be playing for b4, honestly. You know, at this point now, his bishop is going to go back to this good score sooner or later. So we don't really have anything to do in that regard. I like the idea of queen b1 to play b4. If we play b4 and we take, we're opening up some weaknesses on the b file. The structure is still superb here. If he ever plays d5, I just play knight e3 to hit the bishop. Can't do anything yet. If he plays b5, I take, and then I can play rook takes a6. I'm so hungry. I'm starving. It's been raining nonstop here. I don't know what's going on with the city. They call it Shuvili because it's named after the rain. All right, I don't know what that was. This guy's alternating between fantastic moves and just god-awful moves. I don't know what's up with this, but that just literally blunders a pawn here. Knight takes, I take this. I guess he's going to try queen b5 to get some compensation there, but I don't really see what he's going for. All right, let's just take the pawn here. Is he going to take here? Is that his idea? No, then I just take. He takes this. He's not getting enough compensation there. Bro could try queen b5, then I take, trade everything, then install the next knight on c4. That's just a great position for me. I honestly got to go to the steakhouse to eat my fine steak. If we win this game, I think we'll break 2450. Rook f7, okay. That's interesting. Rook f7. Well, wait, no, now the bishop is trapped because the bishop cannot go back here. Yeah, this is the perfect time. Let's play... Actually, knight e3 makes more sense. Let's play knight e3, bishop e2, rook f2. Yeah, and we're not even going to let this knight trade itself. This knight is pretty bad. He plays queen b5, we'll just bring the rook back. Or queen b5, actually, the best move is probably queen a1. Just keeping an eye on everything. If he plays queen b4 there, we play rook f2. Yeah, I think he sees the writing on the wall. Bishop is dead here. Bishop h5, g4. All right, rook f2. It's over. Rook blocked the bishop. All right, perfect. You know, actually that finished so soon, we will get another game after this. It's probably going to be a black game, though. All right, that looks like a standard graph. Actually, anything above 90 I'm happy with. So that's good. Let's get into it. Let's see the analysis. Okay, so here, all right, so all the normal stuff. So yeah, my opponent is playing, this is actually known to be the very best system against the bird. If you look at this, it looks depressing. Guys, do not worry about it. I said it once, I'll say it again. I have a Soviet supercomputer. Also, I do analyze this position in my course. At higher depths, it goes down to like 0.1, 0.15, I think. And that's on like depth 40. On higher depths, it goes down even lower. It's pretty much equal. You're just going to get very weird positions, but the idea is that if black plays this accurately, he wants to delay the development of this knight as long as possible because we want to pin him with bishop b5. So he castles here, we'll play a4. And yeah, a4 is technically actually inaccurate. In my course, I mentioned a4 as an alternative, but I recommend bishop e2. Bishop e2 is slightly better. But I felt that this guy just didn't really know what he was doing, and so I played a4, and lo and behold, he is not supposed to play knight c6 here. If he plays d5, then he just goes back into a d5 system under the best conditions, and that's supposed to be the supposed refutation of a4. Yeah, dude did not really understand this position, and understandably so, because this is the bird, and he probably is only playing this once every 6 months, or playing against it once every 6 months. So knight c6, bishop b5. Bishop comes in, he plays queen c7, we play castle here. Already this is slightly inaccurate. Was I supposed to play knight e5 here? In some positions, knight e5 is good. Here I didn't think it was, yeah, no, knight d5 here. This is not going to be fun. Knight e5 doesn't work in all these positions. And in general, whenever their bishop is shining through this long diagonal, you need to be very careful about putting your knight on e5. There are other positions where your knight goes to e5 in conjunction with this bishop, though. All right, so castles, a6, we take. Play a5. a5 is a beautiful move. You definitely need to remember this. This is really important. We're just completely fracturing their queen side. In these positions here, they want to expand on the queen side. They want to play b5, c4, d5, and eventually try to break open the queen side somehow. Once you play a5, you're guaranteeing that if they ever do this, you take here, and their structure is just weak here. You're going to be slightly better. All right. So a5, man plays d6, we play knight a3. That's an inaccuracy. Apparently knight c3 is better. What? What is wrong with knight a3? What does computer think? d5 here, interesting. Okay, yeah, actually that's true. The knight is really badly placed after d5. No human is going to play d5 though. Come on, what are we talking about? He just played d6. Why would he put his pawn on d5? That actually does make perfect sense though. After d5 here, knight e5, something like this, my knight is worse than it would be on b1. If my knight was on b1, it would be better. So back here, what do I have to do? I just need to play slowly. I should be playing d3. I shouldn't rush with my knight to e5. All right, okay, and wait, so just to make sure I understand. So knight c3, yeah, we're gonna play d3, e4. If we wanna move our knight around to this weakness on b6, we could still play knight a4 to go to b6. But doing it this way, he cannot keep our knight out of a4 as he could if our knight was on a3 with d5. And keeping our knight out of c4 in that case. All right. Even so, though, he plays a normal move. We get knight c4 in, d3. We take. Yeah, so allowing us to trade the bishops is a really big mistake strategically. Because this is his prize pearl of a piece. He has his pawns on light squares here, so when he allows this trade, he's going to have lots of weak dark squares around his king. Queen e1 is inaccurate. That's interesting. It wanted me to play e4, but I didn't like the idea of letting this bishop trade off. Knight e3, takes. We are definitely better here. I wasn't convinced at how much better we were. Computer is saying this is close to winning for white, which is shocking. We're going to just start advancing to g4, h4, g5. Okay, honestly, that does make sense, though, because the thing is like a critical thing here is that he just has no way to break through, right? If you think about this position, if we think about the king side, we're going to be attacking on the king side, and for them to really make progress and fight against our king side attack, he needs to have a way to open the center. How is he going to do that, though? If he ever plays e5, we keep things closed with f5. If he tries to open with d5, we play e5 to keep things closed. Because our pawns have stayed so flexible, he actually has no way to break open the position. If he ever tries to open it, we'll just advance our whichever pawn needs to be advanced. So like, for instance, something like this, like e6, g4, I don't know, rook e8, h4, I'm just giving an example. e5, we just play f5 and we steamroll through. We wait for him to push and then we commit the other way. That's interesting. I never would have assumed that position is this much better. I would have said that, you know, white might be slightly better, like 0.4, 0.5, but never 0.9. Never 1. That's wild to me. You see, you learn something new every day. All right, so queen e1, dubious move. This is a thematic idea, though, so even though it technically was incorrect in this position, this is something you do want to keep in mind. Queen is fantastic on this square. It can go to c3, can go to h4, can go to g3, supports e4, gets out of the way of the g4 pin. Just a very classic idea. Man plays f6, e4. Yeah, and I did not want to allow this bishop to trade itself, so I played knight d2. Man played e5, we played f5, g5, queen b1. What was I supposed to do? Knight e3, bishop h5, knight b1. Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that, guys. Bishop f7, knight c3. We're going to put a knight on d5. It might not seem like that much, but then start to process. How hard is it going to be for his knight to actually fight for this square? It's going to be near impossible. His knight can't get around to here, and it can't get around to here, but how else is it going to get around? It would have to get to one of these squares, which also are off limits. He could play something like b6 to get his knight to cover d5 this way, but then that would always drop the a6 pawn. That's amazing. This game turned out to be really instructive. I'm learning a lot with this game. That's wild. I'm definitely increasing my bird knowledge. My bird is going to fly to new heights. All right, so I played queen b1. Queen b1, this is a classic move, though. If you get the a4, a5 move in and you've sort of fractured their pawns in by digging into the square preemptively, just pushing for b4 is a classic idea here. If bishop h5, my idea was we were going to play b4. Apparently b4 is just inaccurate. Apparently we just have to still play for the knight e3, knight b1, knight c3 idea. That's crazy. Yeah, apparently we just were supposed to go for that. There's no need. And if anything, I think the computer likes the idea of playing rook b1 to go for this more. Okay, yeah, this is a better version of it. Yeah, if we do it this way, then the rook can take here. Computer even thinks that this is inaccurate. Apparently we're supposed to play h4 first to just add more tension in. h6, knight e3. So the confusing thing that I have about these positions is, like, obviously white looks better and everything, but where exactly is the breakthrough going to come, right? Because our pieces look great and all, but black structure is still very solid here. How are we going to actually break through here? It does turn out, though, the computer recommends b4, for instance, in this position. In some other positions, we might be taking here and getting our... Okay, so yeah, this is interesting. We have several ideas here. We could play for b4. We could also play queen f3, takes, king f2, and transfer the rook over to try to pressure down the h-file. This is really interesting stuff. All right, so getting back to the position, play queen b1, and then man just sort of panics here. He plays b5, we get the pawn, rook f7, knight e3, bishop e2, and yeah, he's just trapped here, completely lost. That was a good game. Let's try to get one more. Let's see, are we going to get white or black? Chess.com is very strange. It gives me 5 whites in a row, and then it gives me 5 blacks in a row. All right, so we'll finish this video with a black game. Playing puzzles. That's a nice name. All right, e4, let's play. Actually, let's go, should we go with the perk or bird's defense? Let's go with the bird's defense. Hopefully we'll get a bird's defense. We don't get a bird's defense, I'll be sad. Okay, well, we'll get an Italian. The Giocco piano there. d5, takes. Okay, we'll play knight a5 here. Classic stuff. I have played this position probably not thousands of times, but hundreds of times. Knight f3. I think here we play queen c7, or no, it's bishop d6. I can't remember which is which. If they castle here, though, we're supposed to play knight f4. This is old school theory. This was brought up in Nikolaus Natirlis's book like 10 years ago. Yeah, and so here they have 2 pawns, but their structure is very ugly. We have the bishop pair. This is supposed to be equal from what I remember. Frankly, I don't understand why white players play this. It looks so ugly to me. All right, if we play c5 here, I guess he's going to play knight e4. I like c5 a lot, though. We'll just play c5. I don't even know if this is good or not. I'm an old GM, guys. What do you expect? I'm playing on my intuition. My stake reserves are running low. I have to go refill my stake barometer. All right, knight e4. Drilling into d6. We play bishop c7. He can take on c5. Yeah, let's play bishop c7 here. I don't really know what he's doing. He could take the pawn if he wants. I'll play queen d5 then. I think I have fantastic compensation still. Actually, I'm realizing now queen d5, he's going to play b4. Let's play knight c6 first. Actually, wait, queen d5, b4, then knight c6. This is weird stuff. I think this looks great, honestly. Like, okay, I'm down 2 pawns, but who cares? Really, who cares? I got bishops. He's got the really ugly structure here. His development is a joke. And don't even get me started about this knight on c5. This knight on c5 is a loose piece. Okay, knight c6. He could play queen b. If he plays queen b3, we'll just take and then take on b4. I'm getting my pawn back then. He plays a3, we'll play a5. This looks completely fine. He has to try a3. We play a5, just crunch. There's something wrong with this country. It's just raining endlessly. I guess not this country, just the city. It's literally been raining like 90% of the time the past 5 days. I don't know what's going on with it. It's time to stop raining, as they say. Okay, here, let's take. Is he going to play a4? Was that his grand idea? This looks fantastic for me, though. I don't know what he's doing here. There's no way I'm worse here. I have the bishops. I got the bishops, pal. You cannot be better here. He could play bishop b2. I don't think he's necessarily worse after bishop b2. Bishop b2... We could play rook b8 there. That's a weird position. This is all bizarre. Like bishop b2, we take on a3. Takes. I'm thinking maybe rook d8. I don't want to allow him to take here, though, because without this pawn here, nothing is drilling into these pawns. But he's going to play d4 soon enough, actually. We need to be careful. I want to play this for the win, but it's a little tricky. I actually need to be a little careful, though. I'm realizing now that these pieces are all loose. This guy isn't playing badly. I thought this guy was playing badly. But I'm realizing now that his play actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, we play rook e8. Well, if we play rook e8, he plays rook c1, and we're in trouble there. I have a lot to deal with actually here. Okay, we could definitely take. He takes with the bishop. We play rook d8. He plays rook c1. I could play bishop d6 there. I think that holds, but that's a mess, honestly. Who knows what's going on there? Bishop e6 is also okay. Knight c5, bishop d5. If he takes on b4, we can take on a1. Then we take on b4. These pieces are surprisingly weird. I think I just have to cash out for a draw here. It's not what I wanted to do, but I think it's what I have to do. Okay, takes, like, we just got to calculate this all out. Takes bishop, takes rook d8, plays rook c1. This is just very ugly there. Do we have knight a5 in that position? Knight a5 actually works because it's hitting this knight. I think that's okay. Let's see the other way. If he trades, no, if he takes with the rook, then I play rook b8. That has to be okay. There's just too much discoordination there. And I have ideas of bishop d6. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Okay, let's take here. Hopefully this works. Things are looking very tricky. But I think everything holds. Yeah, this knight a5 move is a big move. It's definitely a game changer. Dude, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. Bishop takes e5. That's extremely dubious. I do not know what he's doing. Why would he give me why would he give me two bishops versus two knights and leave this a pawn on the board? That's very, very bizarre. Honestly, that's so bizarre I might be calling the Vlad Master. I have a case to report. Yeah, let's play. Okay, wait. Rook e8, knight c4. We're gonna play a2 there. He plays rook a1. I play bishop f5. That looks like a great position. I mean, I don't know. Like, what is the whole plan here for him? I don't know what he's doing. I just don't know what he's doing. This is so dubious to allow this pawn to stay on the board, and I have two bishops here. Bishop e6, knight c5. I take, he takes, I play rook b8, he takes on e6, I play a2. That's almost over. I'm very perplexed by what's happening here. Bishop e6, knight c5, I also have bishop d5. If knight c4, then we play a2. Yeah, I'll play bishop e6. I don't know what he's doing here. Like, maybe if I calculate a bit better, I'd be able to find something more precise, but it looks like everything is just fantastic here. Two bishops against two knights with this passed a pawn on the board, this has to be fantastic. And I really want to prioritize this just to push his knight farther away from being able to cover this pawn here. All right, knight d4. I play bishop d5, knight b5. I'm just so confused as to what this is. We could take, they take, we play a2, he takes on e6, we play rook b8, he plays rook e1, we take back there. That looks fantastic. I'm not sure if that's winning or not, but that does look fantastic. But maybe I shouldn't be cashing out so soon. Bishop d5, knight b5, takes. Wait, bishop d5, knight b5, I just have bishop b6 there. Bishop d5, oh, knight b5, he's hitting this. What am I talking about? Okay, that's actually serious. We need to be very careful about that. Bishop d5, knight b5, bishop b6. No, if he takes, then it's okay. We can't allow him that. Okay, I could take here. He takes with the rook. I play a2, knight takes e6, rook b8. That position should be fantastic. Yeah, I think ultimately that position has to be fantastic there. I'm going to go for it. This pawn on a2 is so strong. It keeps his rook so passive that despite being down a pawn in that position, I think I should be winning there. Oh, maybe I should have played a2 first. I don't think there's any difference, though. If he plays knight b5, I play a2. If he takes on e6, I play a2. And if he moves his knight away to c5, for instance, I can check. He'll block with the rook. I'll take it, and finally I'll make a queen. This pawn on a2 is superb. I'm even looking at these positions like takes, rook takes, a2, rook e1. Even in those positions, I don't think I could ever be worse there. This pawn on a2 is just so insanely strong. Someone's shouting in the rain. Someone's been shouting in the rain for half an hour. It's how they celebrate the weekend here. Okay, takes. We'll play A7, A2. This is always the plan. Dude has to play rook E1 here. Okay, now we take. Still cannot take. If he takes, we check. He blocks, and then we take on E1. All right, there. All right, let's play rook B. Yeah, wait. How is he gonna do? How is he gonna deal with this? Let's play. I'm wondering, should we beckon his rook to come to D1 first or not? I think we should, actually. If we can win this pawn, that's going to be really serious. He still can't take here because of check. Has to play rook D1, and now I'm just going to bring my king in. I was thinking I could win this pawn on D3 with rook B3, and I could, but there's actually no point in doing so. Let's play E5 here and bring the king up. I don't think he can try D4 here. If he plays D4, he could actually try D4, but that's very tricky. Okay, here we'll play king D5. He's holding on by a thread here. This is so dangerous. If rook moves anywhere, I play rook B1. It's still over there. What is he going to do in this position? This is so tough for him. If he plays F4, I just take and then my king runs in. Look at that. Yeah, no, he is in Zugzwang, actually. Like, he has a few pawn moves over here, but as soon as he does that, he's going to have to play king E2, and then he's just going to have to make a backward-looking move. What is that about? I just play rook B1 here. I'm just winning on the spot. Rook C1 I take. I don't know what that was. This is great, guys, though. We're at an all-time rapid peak. Okay, there. Just take here. There. This has to be over, though. Let's check. Play rook D1. Gonna take here. Start taking everything. This is completely lost for him. All right, perfect.
It's time to go.